Hello, Powfish teachers. My name is Chris. I am a teacher at Powfish. I have been since probably the middle of March. It is now the first week of April 8th. And I'm sending you this video because a lot of people have recently asked me was I able to accomplish so many packages after such a short period of time, the bookings and everything else. In March, roughly the 2 weeks, I think I had about 10 packages. And what I mean by packages are people that were trial classes that bought with me. This month, it's been the first week, I've already got 4, so I'm on pace to do that, hopefully double it. But to jump right into it, the main things that I focus on are the time zones. So peak time in Beijing is 6 to 9 p.m. Beijing time. I'm Eastern, so it's roughly a 12 to 13 hour difference. So I need to be up around 4 or 5 in the morning to 9 or 10 in the morning to get those time slots. And then Saturday and Sunday is pretty much all day, roughly 8 a.m. to 9 or 10 p.m. Really all day. I mean, I've had classes at 2 o'clock in the morning, my time, because it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon their time. But you definitely need to be available. You have to have those slots open or you're not going to get any bookings. So if you're one of those people that is scratching your head like, I don't understand why I'm not getting any bookings. Well, I mean, how many slots do you have open? If you've only got 5 slots open for the week or 10 slots open for the week, then, I mean, even if you got 6 bookings, which is great, that's a 60%, out of everything that you've done, 6 bookings a week, I mean, you might be fine with that. But if you want to get more than that, then you have to have more bookings. I mean, if you want to get 10 bookings a week, put 20 classes out there. Set yourself up for a 50% conversion, and eventually you're going to have enough regular students where every slot you put open, it's booked. So you don't have to worry about it. But you got to go strong in the beginning and be available. Build your profile. Like, make sure your pictures on your profile page are kid-friendly. That's the first thing they see when they're looking for teachers. And I mean, you don't want a prison photo or something like that. Like, I mean, you have to have, I have 3 girls, so it's kind of easy for me to take pictures that are kid-friendly because I've got 3 girls. But you got to have kid-friendly pictures. Your intro needs to be kid-friendly. I mean, you have to be able to talk about the value that you bring, but you also want to keep it light and upbeat. Mine, honestly, is probably a little lengthy, but this is a fluid thing. You constantly update. So another thing is your voice. Make sure that your voice is kid-friendly. I probably come off a little dark, direct, but when I'm in those classes, I gauge my audience. So if I'm teaching a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old, level 6, my conversation is totally different than if I'm teaching a pre-K 2-year-old. I actually had a 2-year-old pre-K this morning, and I mean, he was pretty intelligent. Like, he was able to pick up pretty quickly on this English, and I think it was the first experience he had with it. But you have to keep it upbeat. I mean, plenty of props, you know this stuff. Plenty of props, background's got to look good. There's plenty of chat groups out there, Facebook, chat groups in Powfish, join them. There's one for new students, there's one for, world travelers. There's tons of them out there. Just find one that you like and ask the question. Like, there are way more experienced teachers out there than me that would probably give you better answers than what I could give you, honestly. I will tell you there's no blueprint to this, so if you're looking for a clear-cut answer, then this is definitely the wrong video. I can just tell you what I've done and what's worked for me. I try to keep it upbeat. I try to be available as much as possible, especially in the beginning. And my profile, I try to make it look as kid-friendly as possible. One of the other things that I do that's really huge is I have a bunch of pre-typed messages in like a memos app on my phone. And like, anytime somebody follows me, anytime I set up a live session and they join it, anytime I have a trial class, I have these different pre-typed messages that I'll copy and paste and maybe, wordsmith a little bit to put the specifics of the person's name or whatever. But I'll send these pre-typed messages to my trial students, thanking them for allowing me to be the teacher for their trial, telling them that it was a great experience, that I fully enjoyed it. I can't wait to be their teacher. And if they have any other questions or concerns, then please message me so we can get this started. I act as if, like I don't really ask them if I can be their teacher. I assume that I'm going to be their teacher. And in assuming that, a lot of times they assume it and they book with me. But yeah, act as if, send those messages. That's a big thing that I do. One of the biggest things that I could give you for advice would be don't try to focus on the money so much. Like the conversions, the packages, all that stuff, like it's great, but I found that my sales really started going up once I stopped worrying about how much I was selling. Because they can sense that. Like when you're in class and all you're focused on is conversion, then you're missing out on the teaching and you're missing out on the opportunity to bond with that student. And I mean, if you've got a 13-year-old or a 3-year-old, like that, they don't want to be afraid of you. They don't want to feel like you only want to talk to them to get paid. Like they want value. So make the class fun, make it enjoyable. The money should be the last thing you worry about. And I found once I started focusing on what Palfish is all about, the more money I was actually making. And it seemed a lot easier. I wasn't struggling to try to make money. It was just happening as a result of being a teacher. So don't focus on that. Basically, don't try to sell them a package. Try to buy a smile. So if I can get that kid to smile, if I can get that kid to laugh, the parents, if I can get them involved. I've taught classes where grandmas, aunts, uncles, kids, moms, dads, I've had like 6 people in a classroom all sitting where you are looking back at me, and I involve as many of them as I can. I'm not focused just on that student if there's 5 people in the room, because I want them all to feel engaged and interact. So I would say just keep it upbeat, be available, update your profile, send out those messages for followings, for trials, for everything, and just, stay positive. It'll happen. It really will. Thank you guys. Have a good day.